What up, guys? Welcome to the Fantasy Addiction Network. In this video, we are breaking down Marquise Hollywood Brown, the wide receiver for the Baltimore Ravens, and taking a look at what we expect to see from him in 2020. Hit that subscribe button for us, and let's break down the video now. Have him listed as missing 2 games for an ankle sprain, but also dealt with a foot injury for most of last year. So we really didn't get a full picture of what the 2019 first-round pick could do for this team. Finished the season with 46 receptions, 584 receiving yards, but 7 touchdowns. And finished with an average of 10.5 fantasy points per game. Finished at 46th in both total fantasy points and points per game. Obviously, that's not very good. Looking at this stat line, it was very boom bust last year for Mr. Brown. Came out hot in the first week against Miami. 4 receptions, 147 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Never really came quite close to that ceiling again, but did have another good game in Week 12 against the Rams with 5 receptions, 42 yards, but 2 touchdowns. Not like there's a true alpha in this team at receiver, other than I guess Mark Andrews is the true alpha there. They do add Devin Duvernay and James Prochet. Devin Duvernay is more of a slot receiver. James Prochet probably not going to see the field too much. I do expect Marquise Brown to be a bit more involved if he can stay healthy. He's a bit of a smaller guy. I do believe the Ravens intend to use him more of like a Tyreek Hill type, but I don't think he's quite as talented as Tyreek Hill. I think that should go without saying. So I don't really expect that type of a leap in year 2, but I do think that they will use him a good bit more. I think he will be effective heading into 2020. And as we're expecting the Ravens to throw the ball a little bit more this year and not be quite as run heavy, I think there's plenty of room for Marquise Brown to hit above where he finished last year. So as we've expressed in our Lamar Jackson video, last year the Ravens finished with only 29.3 pass plays per game. That was the worst in the league. We do expect that to go more towards the mean. It would be hard to imagine the Ravens continue playing as run heavy as they did, at least to the extent that they did. It should regress towards a little bit more passing this year, unless their defense just continues to stay dominant. Then, for all we know, maybe they'll continue playing the way that they have. So it's possible, most certainly possible. Finished with an 18.9% target share, which wasn't that great, 44th among receivers, and only a 67.2% route participation. Again, a lot of this year was hampered by injury. Finished with 17 deep targets, though, not too bad, and 2.25 yards per pass route, among pretty close to the wide receiver 2 rate there. Quarterback rating when targeted, though, 123.2. In fantasy points per pass route, 0.56. Both of those top 10 at the wide receiver position. So plenty of room for upside with Marquise Brown. Just got to get the volume and got to stay healthy. Again, he's already shown us what he can do. You can get him at a discount, a guy that can win your week for you. Definitely a better target in best ball drafts, but I'd still happily take him in a redraft league if I can get him in the 7th round or later. It's kind of hard to avoid passing on a guy that has the upside that he does. Right now, we have him projected to hit 65 receptions for 885 receiving yards and 8 total touchdowns. To put him right about 200 fantasy points, which would definitely place him into the guys that you want to take 7th round or later. But he could definitely outperform that, especially if this passing game does have to take a bigger step forward. There aren't really any other targets outside of Mark Andrews in this team that I could foresee taking a lot of the passing work, so there's plenty of room for growth for Marquise Brown. And I mean, there's not really much else to say. He showed us a little bit of promise last year, gave us a taste of what he could do. Again, a first-round pick in 2019, so clearly this team likes him. For what it's worth, he's related to Antonio Brown, which if Antonio Brown were to be signed to the Ravens, I think that would really kill his upside. But at this point, I'm not sure how likely that even is. So got to go with what we know right now. Marquise Brown comes in at a really good target in the 7th round. A guy gives you plenty of upside, which by that point in the draft, you should be shooting for the upside that you can get with a guy like Marquise Brown. So, like him a lot this year. What do you guys think? Hit me up in the comment section below and let me know. And we'll see you guys in the next video.